Can you guys hear me? Hello? Is anybody there? Okay, yay, Trishy77. Everybody can hear me, right? Taline, give me thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay, cool. Thank you guys and welcome to Antoinette and Friends. Decided to do the show in a very intimate setting from my bathroom. As I said in my promo, this is where I conceived the idea, and I just wanted to get intimate with you guys. And I have to say, it's been quite a journey over the last few days, fielding all of your questions, which I'm so amazed and I appreciate so much that you guys sent me so many amazing questions. Thank you, Taline. You guys are amazing too. Thank you. Okay, let me just bring Gus on because he's waiting for me in some undisclosed location. Okay, no Gus. Okay, I will just wait for Gus to show himself and say hi to everybody. How is everybody doing? Okay, you guys, I'm going to try to field questions from you guys, and I also have my light here with a lot of questions from you all. And as I was saying, it was quite a journey because you guys kind of made me discover a little bit about myself, actually a lot about myself. The questions were rather deep, and I had to start to think about how I felt about a lot of it. So I'm going to try to get to some questions on here, and I got really close so I can read the live feed. Thank you. Everybody's saying that I look really good. I feel like visiting Brazil, and Taline knows that I'll be there as soon as possible. So you guys, I'm just going to start and hope that Gus will sign on soon, because I definitely wanted to check in with him. Hi from DC. Hi, May 8th. I'm doing okay, Natalia. Thank you so much. I was just telling my dear friend that I just feel so much energy this week. And, I just have been going sort of inside and thinking a lot about this broadcast and the kinds of things I wanted to talk about. And so I'm just feeling really, really good. And I just wanted to spend time with you guys and hear from you. Hi from Texas. Hi, guys. Argentina. I would love to visit Russia. That's on my bucket list. Thank you. Jackie Lair, Ilare, how are you? Oh my God, if you could change your name to something, what would it be? I don't think I would want to change my name. Antoinette was a name that when I was a little girl, I couldn't stand. It was like an older name and nobody had it. Everybody was Jennifer and Nicole and Karen, and Antoinette was just a tough name to have as a kid. And now as I've gotten older, I really, really, really like it. I'm kind of grown into it. Oh, there you are. Woohoo! Gus is going to hate me when I finally get him on, when I'm going to, what I want him to do. I don't know if he's going to go for it, you guys. There you go. Gus is in the house. Hi.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hi, Gus. Where
in
are
my
you?
bathroom.
Are you in the bathroom too?
First time broadcasting in my bathroom.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad I don't have to go to the bathroom right now.
Well, that's good. I'm kind of happy to be doing this because I just feel it's a little more energy to be doing it from the bathroom, I have to say, because it's very intimate. But I know that the club is getting a major facelift.
Extreme major.
What's going on there? Tell us really quick.
Well, we're just getting safe. We're just trying to get open. I know Ventura County's starting to open up. We're right on the border. We're still in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But, we're moving tables around, spraying things around a little bit, cleaning the bathrooms up. We're just going to be ready for you. We're anxious to open. All the requests we get from people or the messages. When are we going to open? It's coming soon, guys. It's coming soon. Be ready.
We're opening soon, you guys. I was at the club, obviously last week, but I stopped in during the week. And it's an amazing thing because it holds so many people. So even though everyone is 6 feet apart, it doesn't really feel that way. So that's one of the beautiful things when we're able to open. That's going to be pretty amazing.
Exactly. So I'm anxious.
Okay, yeah, me too. I want to get
I'm
back.
anxious.
that was one of the things that I think I started to feel, and why I wanted to do this episode and do it this way, because it's really hard. Like, Gus and I met at the club, and
At the club.
I think we both share a similar style of taking care of people. Like, we're really warm, but we're also touchy-feely, right? I mean, we're very much like warm, and we like to extremely, right? And so one of the things that's got me really kind of challenged, and I'm sure people are going through this in the world, it's like you have to distance yourself from the people that you would rather be like connecting with. And like,
we're not allowed to grope anymore. We can't grope.
I know.
Say no to grope. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down. This is really hard holding my phone. I gotta sit down.
Okay.
I'm in my bathtub, guys. I'm in my bathtub.
Okay. I love it. Hey, listen, so I got a request, and I don't know, it's really a challenge, and I don't know if you're up for it, but if you do it, I'll do it. All right?
I'm kind of scared.
Laura, you should be scared. I'm a little scared because I actually refrained from actually going in beforehand and organizing. But Lauren Serafina from Sweden, right before I came on, sent me this challenge, and I was just like, okay, you're already taking it to the distance while going into your bathroom, which is pretty intimate. Can I do this? Okay, Lauren Serafina from Sweden wants me to reveal what's inside one of my bathroom drawers.
Okay, I'm glad you said that.
I'll do it.
So you want me to reveal what's in my drawers?
Yeah, one drawer. Pick a drawer.
You said drawer, not drawers, right? Like my pants.
No, you're a physical drawer. Can you do that?
I will be more than happy to.
All right, go. Give me 3 items in your drawer.
Remember, I'm bored. I live alone. I'm bored.
You can't put anything around it. You just have to do it.
But my kitchen is far away.
Describing why.
My kitchen is very far away from my drawer. So I'm going to pick which drawer I'm going to look at. All right.
Boy, I'm scared.
I'm going to turn the phone. Kind of knew something.
Oh, no! I'm afraid.
Wait. I got Twinkies.
Okay. I didn't know what I was going to see. All right.
No. I got Twinkies. Look at this.
I love those.
Let's go to another drawer. Nothing fun.
Nothing
got
fun.
A little screwdriver.
Okay. All right.
Hold on.
What is it?
No, I can't show you that. I can't show you that.
Oh, my God. Is it a condom?
Don't worry about it.
Oh!
I got to get the cobwebs out. This quarantine's killing me. Nothing good so far, just my candy.
I'm surprised.
My food.
I thought there was going to be something in there. That was really
I can't show you. I was going to show you something, but I can't show you.
Oh, I have.
But
all right.
yeah.
I'm going to open up my.
Yeah, wait, it's your turn. Your turn.
Let me just see.
Maybe I'll share some more after I see what you do.
Hold on. Okay. Wait. All right, you guys. I'm actually bringing you to my drawer. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Okay. A wine key. Okay, but that wasn't in there before quarantine. I have mascara. That's kind of an old mascara. Oh my God, you guys, I have this, if anybody knows what this is, that'll make me really happy.
You know what? I had one too.
Is that what you didn't want to show me?
No, trust me, there's more.
Okay, this is Italian talcum powder that every time I went to Italy, we would bring home every kind of like the soap and the whatever, and the shower gel. And this is like Johnson & Johnson for the Italians. Amazing, right? I know everybody in Italy is going to be knowing what that is. And you know what else I have in here, which is really cute? This is my first baby hairbrush that my mother saved for me. Not sweet? Can you see it filled with hair from when I was a baby? I know, it's very sweet. I know that's like, please. Really, and there's something else. I have CBD oil that Trish gave me, which I use when I'm really. That wasn't so bad.
That wasn't so bad.
No.
I was expecting more. Hey, turn your camera just a little bit to your left.
Uh-oh. Why?
Just a little bit to your left.
Oh shit! What
Turn
are
the
you gonna?
camera. No. Oh,
Well,
you're
what
right. I
are
guess it's
you
you're right. This is backwards, right? Just turn it a little bit.
This way?
No, the other way. Just a
Oh.
little bit. More. Come
Oh
on.
no, I don't want to show you. Oh, I
I'm
hate you
a,
right now.
all right, no worries. Keep it there.
Maybe if I'm feeling revelatory a little bit later in the broadcast, I'll spin the camera around. All
No
right, guys,
problem.
really quick, we have 2 or 3 questions for you, and then
Ask
I'm going
away.
to talk to some of the peeps and take some questions straight away from them. So, okay, questions for Gus. Who was the wildest and craziest performer that we had in the time that you've been at the Canyon Club?
Oh boy, I've been there for 19 years now, almost 19 years.
Wow.
And probably the craziest one I've ever had to be David Cassidy.
I heard about David Cassidy.
David
What happened
Cassidy.
with him? He's no longer with us. He passed.
He's no longer. He did, the first time he did a show with us was maybe 15, 16 years ago. He did his last show with us also, unfortunately. He did pass away. But the very first time he played there, I'm thinking in my head, okay, my sister had a crush on this kid. He was
I did too.
on the Partridge Family. He was the guy in the Teen Beat magazine. And when he gets there, first his manager comes and lets me know, hey, he's coming in. We're going to put a fake limousine up front so people don't know where he's coming in from. If you can let him up through the back. And, come on, who's going to watch this guy? Well, his fans are probably 90 years old now.
Right.
So, okay, it is what it is. I actually went and picked him up at the hotel. And we came in through the back, snuck him into the back. Fine, no problems. I'm still thinking he's a little crazy. His manager lets me know, hey, as soon as he plays this song, I want you to go to the back, use your car, and he's going to get in your car and we're going to take off back to the hotel. Okay, great, whatever.
Wow.
I don't know, this guy's lost a little bit already.
Yeah.
He's playing the show. I don't know any of the songs, so I don't know when the last song is going to be. So it's okay. I just go to my car early. I had it started. By the time I get to my car, it's like the Beatles were playing there. My car is surrounded by ladies holding posters.
That is really amazing. Think about it. He dealt with that his whole
life. So I'm sitting in my car. My window's down. I'm hearing he's running down the hallway now. The show's over with a towel over his head, and he's just yelling, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, what the hell's going to go on here? He jumps in my car. He tells me, go, go, go. And I go, I can't go. There's ladies all around my car. I'm going to run him over. He goes, I don't care. Run him over. Just get me the hell out of this place.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. We get on the freeway, go in the opposite direction where his hotel is. And I go, your hotel's on the other side. He goes, I don't care. Get off the freeway. We got to lose these people. You can't follow me. Look at him. I go, you're Keith Partridge. Are you serious? And he goes, it happens everywhere I go. Happens everywhere I go.
I actually did a press thing with him when I was Tina and Tony and Tina's wedding, and it was like a very big moment for me to do press with him. But it was just like shocking, and he had this kind of way about him that was almost like he was scared.
Standoffish.
It's a strange thing when you're that famous and you command that kind of attention. It was sad,
Well, this is our 4th show. We've been 4,
this is our 4th episode, yeah.
So maybe a couple more episodes. That'll be us.
It's going to be happening to you guys.
My car will be surrounded.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell us really quickly about your favorite show and your favorite show and the best show.
Favorite show, that's easy for me, Don Rickles. Love comedy.
Amazing.
Don Rickles, I think we all grew up watching the Carson Show and all that, the Tonight Show.
And the roast, he was always on the Dean Martin roast.
On the roast, he's amazing on that. And I had the pleasure of sitting with him for about maybe 45 minutes in the back, just having a regular conversation with a guy. He was a lot older, obviously, and the stories he had to tell were amazing.
And was he able to command the stage the way he did before?
This is the first time he played there was maybe 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, how's this guy going to survive? He was looking a lot older. Yeah. The second he got on stage, he was golden. He was Don Rickles, just attacking everybody. And unfortunately, he did one of his very last shows with us. We had his 90th birthday party maybe a year ago.
Wow.
Just before he passed away. So one of his very last shows, was, at the Canyon Club. He was a lot older, but it's just Don Rickles. He's a legend.
I know.
So,
I don't get on that stage without thinking about that. Like just how many people have been on the Canyon Club stage, and especially Don Rickles, because he's like
most definitely.
one of my idols. In fact, one of the questions, and I'll get to, a lot of people were asking me like who my favorite, who the people have inspired me. And I have to say, I started to say so many old school, like I'm so inspired, like talking to Jimmy Schubert last week, I'm so inspired by just old school comedy, old school everything, I just, you know what I mean? So I think about that every time I get on the Canyon Club stage. Who is the best performance, like that goes down in history as like the best performance?
My favorite show. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. I can't.
Okay, perfect.
Like a gajillion questions coming in. I'm going to get to you guys before the hour is up. We're going to I want to talk to Gus a little while longer, and we'll get to some of your questions. But
no worries.
What was like the all-time best show ever?
My favorite show so far has been Heart. Heart, which is such an amazing, powerful voice. It was amazing. But I'm a classic rock guy. That's where I grew up with.
You know what? I am too. And when Heart did the tribute to Led Zeppelin, I don't know if you saw that performance. It was I think it was the Kennedy Center's tribute to Led Zeppelin, or the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or whatever. And
with Heart.
Stairway to Heaven, Heart did, and it was
that was amazing.
Like what that has to feel like to deliver a performance.
That was one of the most powerful performances I've ever seen.
And you've seen so much.
Oh, most definitely. But the bands that play here, or at the Canyon, not here in my bathroom.
They play in your bathroom, Gus?
I'm still in the bathroom. I'm actually sitting on my toilet right now. But I'm still dressed. I'm still dressed. But the classic rock bands that play there, you know how old you were. It's a timestamp. You know who you were dating. You know how old you were. Some of these guys, you were in elementary school. You listened to your parents. Listen to some of these guys. So it's kind of cool to see that. And these guys are still playing. They're still performing. And it's the only way to go. That stage keeps them alive.
I have to say that's one of the beautiful things about the Canyon Club. It's not like people don't really, if they don't know what the Canyon Club is, it's like it's a place where the performers, the entertainers, and the rock stars and the legends who've touched our lives still get to perform to their audiences. I love that, and I love going to the Canyon, and you never know based on who's going to be on stage. It's a completely different crowd. And that's a very unusual thing for a venue to be able to say. Like, it's just a different demographic every time you walk in. And I think that's amazing, and I love it. And I love the Canyon Club because it brought us two together, and we've been having a great time. We're writing all kinds of really funny sketch comedy, and just writing. Gus has got a great comedy script that he's working on, and we just have.
You never know who's gonna show up. People hang out there. A lot of the acts hang out there. You know what? Lance Sterling, the owner of the Canyon Club, has done so much for the community there. Bringing this here.
Yeah, Lance Sterling is the reason that club is what it is, and that he continues to branch out. Yeah, for sure.
You don't have to drive to Hollywood. You don't have to go anywhere. A lot of these acts live in the area, which is cool. This is home to most of the acts that play there.
Yeah.
Which is extremely cool. And they're not playing a lot of them. I just posted a video today on my Facebook account as far as where Rick Springfield was there, and David Grohl just happened to go on stage and start playing with them. So how great is that? These guys, I know we had at the Staples Center, they had Styx and REO Speedwagon playing together. And then the following week, we had REO Speedwagon, and the next night we had Styx playing. Would you much rather watch it at our place, where you hit 1,200 people, or at the big, we have to watch monitor Staples Center, where you have, 20,000 people or whatever it holds?
No, it's amazing.
So it's kind of cool.
Shout out to Lance Sterling for providing that for us, and for, for the public, and for the artists to perform in. So we thank you for that, for sure, Lance, if you're listening.
Most definitely. So yeah, we're getting ready to, that's why we're dying to open up now.
I know.
We're dying to open up now. I have no idea what the regulations are. I might be wearing a face mask the whole time.
Maybe.
Which kind of sucks because I read lips. So.
How do you eat with the face mask? You just open it up, or
I have no clue until they tell us.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you can't drink and eat with a face mask on.
Right. Right.
We're gonna have to figure that out.
Take it off and put it back on. What was I gonna say to you? I don't know. I don't know what
You're getting old.
I was going to say something really
So
important.
far, 2 of the 3 acts that we talked about are no longer with us. They did their last show at the Canyon Club.
But not Heart.
I hope doesn't seem.
No, Heart are going strong. Well, listen, if we have time, I would love to bring you back on. So hang out, okay?
I'll hang out.
Okay, hang out.
Answer some questions.
Guys. Bye, baby.
Take care.
Thank you, Gus. Okay, so somebody is saying, Gus, if you're still listening, the best club that they saw Lisa Lampanelli in was at the Canyon Club. Yeah, she apparently did an amazing performance. You guys, thank you for all the love and the support and your questions. Okay, I want to do, there's been a few of the same recurring question. And I also want to talk to you guys really quickly. Just send me an instant message if you guys are on Facebook, because we've been talking about doing the show. We can't broadcast at the same time on Instagram and Facebook, but there's so many people on Facebook that are not on Instagram that if we can move you guys over, then we'll broadcast on Facebook on the next show. Okay, I'm just gonna say, answer some of the questions that I have up here in my Post-it notes. Would that be good? And I have my glasses on and I'm really close so I can see you. Hi, Ro. And Marcel has Facebook. Yeah, so please let me know and I'd be happy to go onto Facebook. Okay, so very, very simple question. Pineapple on my pizza? Never. I just am not that girl. Like, I don't mix sweet and savory. And where I'm from in Italy, we don't do that. So I would never do that. Okay, Fernanda Lynn from Brazil is asking me if I've ever had Brazilian food. And I'm embarrassed to say that I haven't had Brazilian food. And I'm from New York, and I've had every type of food there is. But I'm excited about going to Brazil, and I would love to be able to taste some Brazilian food. Maybe you can cook me some. Okay, next question. Do you follow back fans? I always follow back fans. If I haven't followed you back, send me a message. I love following back. I follow back everybody, or at least I try to. So please, yes, I do. Marcel Santos says, tell us about the first time you did stand-up. And I have to say that was a powerful experience for me. The first time I did stand-up, I did it at the Improv on Melrose, the world famous Improv. And it was a packed house. And the reason I was there is because I had taken a class in comedy. I thought it was comedy writing, and it turned out it was a stand-up class. And it was with the owner of the Improv. And as soon as I sat there and I realized, oh my God, I'm in the wrong class, I got up and I just said, excuse me, I thought this was a comedy writing class. And he goes, well, it is. You have to write your own stand-up. And I said, I don't want to do stand-up. He said, well, why don't you give it a try? And he was like, kind of saying it to me like it was like he had a sense, because we had already been on stage and introduced ourselves. So at the end of this class, you got on stage and you did stand-up. And it was absolutely the most terrifying thing at that moment, up until that moment, that I had ever done. And I remember when they said my name, I just went up to the teacher. His name was Mark Lano, and he was one of the owners at that time. And I was just holding on to him. And I was just like, I didn't know I didn't know my name. I knew nothing. And it was like terrifying. And I took the stage, and I remember I had cards. I never looked at them. And I told stories about my childhood in Brooklyn. And it was an incredible performance. I mean, in terms of the reaction, people loved it. And I remember getting off the stage, and I walked right to, I'm going to cry. I walked right to the phone, and I called my dad, and I just said, Dad, if I never do stand up again, my whole life has changed. Because when you do something that scares you, it elevates you. And I realized from that moment that I will always go towards what scares me. Obviously, I'm not going to jump off a cliff without a parachute or whatever, but like, I find the things I say, if it scares me that much, then there must be something in it for me. And so that was my experience doing stand-up. And And I continued doing it, and I really liked it. I gave it up for a little while because I was raising my kids. I have two kids, two boys, and it was really hard to be out in the nightclubs and then, get up in the, in the middle of the night. And, it was really, really hard to do. And that's why when I was talking to Tammy Pescatelli, it's like she's worked her whole, career. And I really give props for that because it was really hard for me to do that. So I gave it up for about 8 years, and then I came back to it. And actually I'm enjoying it more now than I did then. I just, because you get older and you know who you are, and it doesn't matter so much what other people think. You just want to say, what's on your mind, and you want to share your voice. And that brings me to a question that I think somebody had about, Autumn Kaiser. I think Autumn is in Wisconsin. She wrote me the question, do I use embarrassing things that's happened to me for real, and do I use real life situations? And I do. Of course I do, for sure. And most of my set is about growing up and whatever. But I will say I'm always walking that fine line between what I can say and what I feel like is appropriate to say. And because I was raised Italian really, and I've raised very old world traditional roots, I'm always fighting against that. What's okay to say, whatever, what's okay to say about somebody else, and being kind about what I say. But then on the other hand, I think I'm a comic, and I've looked at life always through these funny lenses. One of the questions somebody asked me, which I thought was an awesome question, which was I have all of these things. What did you find funny as a kid? And I had to think about that, because I was put on the table in front of my very big Italian family as soon as I could walk. I was the entertainer. So I was put on the table and I had to entertain. And so I was always funny. I always looking for the funny. And then I would just watch people. And I think that's why I love the comics that are, they look at human nature and they make fun of how we all are. I really like that kind of humor. And so the things that make me laugh are stupid things, big expression kind of comedy is what I really find funny. Like when I was a kid in Italy, I remember being on the roofs, and everybody would gather in the piazzas, tons and tons of people. And I would take a little sesame seed and chuck it. And I would just have the best time watching people figure out what was going on. I know that's not very nice to do, but human reactions were always something that I really found funny. And listen, if I didn't laugh as a kid, then I would have had a really hard time. And I think that's the same for most people. I think, what would we be like if we couldn't laugh? I think life is really hard. And I think, trying to laugh at things is our way of surviving. And I certainly think my sense of humor has given me the tools to get through life. I don't know, that answers 4 questions. There was a question that I thought was really cool. Well, people also are asking me kind of intimate questions. They were asking me, Carol Seppiano from the UK. Hi, Carol. Was asking me questions about what I feel about love and relationships, and what do I think about long distance relationships and age difference. And as I've gotten more mature, and notice I don't say older, I say mature, I realized that, love is love. And, I don't think you could put a cap on your heart. And so when you feel something about somebody, it doesn't really matter where they are. Yes, you can't have a day in and day out relationship with somebody, but that doesn't mean you don't have a relationship with somebody who's far away. And the same thing I think about with age difference. Is it a tough go when somebody's so much older? I guess so. But what's the alternative? I just think love is love. It doesn't matter how love looks. It's just love. And so it's hard to say, well, he's older or she's older or whatever. It's doesn't really matter. I guess those things matter if you want to have children and the person is too old and that kind of thing. But I just have come to really feel it doesn't matter how love looks to men, to women, trans, it's just old, young, different races. It's like, I don't think love has a race. I don't think love has a gender. Love is love. And I think that. I've gotten a lot of questions about how I met Trish and Lana. And that's really made me remember amazing things about the way we first met. First of all, Trish and Lana met through me. I met Lana first, and Lana worked with me. I was an event planner for many years. I used to throw big ass parties and special events and weddings and things like that. As actually Trish said on our first Dish with Trish, she was talking about that. So I was an event planner, and I hired thousands of people over the 20-year time that I was doing it when I first got to LA. And my husband was working as a bartender, and Lana was working in the club. And I met her, and I was just like, oh, what a big light. Big light. And we became friends. And I said, please, would you come work with me? And she did. And that was a long time ago. I think she was 18, barely old enough to be there, maybe 19. And then Trish, I met because she wrote, produced, directed, and starred in a movie called April Shower. And she cast me. Actually, I auditioned for her. And I remember we were talking about it on Dish with Trish yesterday. But I remember the moment I met her. But she was the best audition to date that I've ever had, because I gave the performance of my life in that audition. And that's where I met her. I never actually did the movie because by the time the funding came through, I was 8 months pregnant and it wasn't appropriate for the role that I was doing. And so I met them many, many years ago. And then somehow through us all, Trish and Lana met each other. I don't know exactly the day they would know that. But I was just, somebody had asked me, one of the questions was, what was one of the best gifts you've ever gotten? And I thought it was okay to share this. On my birthday, maybe 4 years ago, I've seen a picture on social media of me, Trish, and Lana, and we were at a spa in Beverly Hills, on Beverly Boulevard. And it was my birthday, and they took me to the spa in the morning. It was a Korean spa with like hot springs and stuff. And they both met me there, and we had like no makeup on. We barely woken up. There's a picture on social media, the three of us on that. And Lana had just met Barbra Streisand like 2 nights before. And I owe a lot to Barbra Streisand because, she's from Brooklyn, and she is my biggest inspiration. If I had to name one who inspired me and also gave women like me a voice, a character actress, not like the ingenue, leading lady type, ethnic and from Brooklyn and, kind of, Brooklyn. And so she actually she told me that she went to Barbara, and it was really hard for her to do. I'm getting lost in this moment. Hard for her to do, but she had met her, and it was in a private setting. And she said, excuse me, Miss Streisand, my best friend, her birthday is tomorrow. Could I get an autograph? Anyway, I'm going to show it to you guys. I hope Lana's okay with that, but I think she would be. She said she's never asked anybody for an autograph, at least at that time. And she said that Barbara said, sure, I'll do that for you. And she knew how to write my name, which made me really happy. She didn't have to tell her how to write my name. And this is it. And it says, for Antoinette, happy birthday, Barbra Streisand. Isn't that amazing? This really made me cry. And I know that it took a lot for her to do, because I'm sure it wasn't easy to approach Barbra Streisand, but she did. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to take a couple of questions from the feed. Somebody was asking me, have I ever done a cameo? And I don't really even know what that is. So you'll have to tell me what that is, and maybe I'll do it if it's not something crazy. Is it something on the internet that I have to do? Do I have to throw cold water on me or something like that? But I would love to know what that is, and I'll do it. I'll do it. Okay, you guys. Do I have future travel plans? I do. I do. First thing I want to do is want to go see my mom, who's turning 98 on June 6th. And I won't be able to get to see her. But I'm hoping soon after I can get to New York and to Vermont actually and see her. And then I want to take my sons to Italy, and I want to show them Rome, and then I want to hightail it down to Puglia and to Altamura and to Grumo, and I want to show them, my whole life. It's a weird thing to think that you have kids that know you so well, but there's like a whole part of your world that they don't know, right? Like so much of my soul and who I am is the fact is because of that I grew up in Italy. Not half of the time, but like every year or every other year, every 2 years, my father would take us all back to Italy for the summer. So I'd spend a month in Sardinia and a month in Bari. So and as a kid, you know what that's like. 2 months when you're a kid is a lifetime, And so I would do that, and I would come back. And I remember being 5 years old and walking the streets of Pompeii. And I remember thinking, this is like, even at 5 years old, I remember thinking, this is pretty cool, And I was the youngest because my family, everybody was older. I was kind of like the surprise package when I was born. My father was 55 on the day I was born. So they were already a family. And then I came along. So I was like this little kid with all of these adults, walking these incredible ancient lands. And I remember thinking that was very special. So that's a very long-winded answer for my next travel plans. I would like, and my sons both seem like they want to see where they're from and see all of the things that I saw when I was a kid and experienced. I'm going to try to see, I'll get really close and see what was the best surprise ever. The best surprise ever was when I turned 40, I would say. And did Taline ask me that question from Brazil? And my sisters flew in, and nobody told me. And Trish brought me to the bathhouse where I was with Lana also, but not that day. And I was in the pool, and my sisters were in the pool, like holding something over. And I was like, oh my God, my sister, was a strange thing to see your sisters in the pool. So they said, they were coming in for my 40th birthday anyway. And then instead of driving me to the Hollywood Bowl, which is where I thought I was going, they drove me to this beautiful house where Trish, Dish with Trish, and Lana was there. And probably, I want to say like 25 of my closest friends. And they gave me the party of a lifetime. It was very overwhelming. Everybody gave me a toast, and I'm starting to get emotional now. So that was the best surprise that I ever had. Thank you guys for all of these questions. I'm looking for a question. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Would you ever go live here on IG with some of your fans? Yeah, of course I would. I was trying to hope that that's what I was doing now. I know it's a really weird thing to, like, I just want to get to know you guys, and it's kind of hard to do. My niece, Franca Johanna, I love you so much. She's in Hamburg, and she's going to meet me in Italy. I can't wait, baby. I can't wait. I love your smile too. Thank you, guys. Oh my God, you want to see my nail design? Look, it's a little crazy. What do you think? A little crazy. This is quarantine crazy. This is me doing my own nails. Okay, guys, we're rounding down the corner here. And there's a couple of questions that are pretty intimate, but I would share it with you if you want. There are questions that are kind of real, I think. Somebody asked me, Autumn Kaiser asked me this question. I thought, ooh, this is an interesting question. She says, what is my favorite thing about myself? And what is my least favorite thing about myself? And it was here's very, very telling. It was very easy for me to come up with my least favorite thing. It was much harder to come up with my most favorite thing. But then I came up with this. My most favorite thing about myself is that I'm fair. I think I'm a very fair person. You know, I'm always able to kind of go, well, wait a minute. You know, I'm always able, I think, to see both sides of the story, or I try to. Um, I know people would disagree with that in my life because I'm pretty passionate. Like, but I'm passionate because if something feels wrong and feels not fair to me, then I get very upset. Like I've done some crazy things because of that. You know, when I was a little girl, when I was a young girl in Italy, I don't know if I could tell this story, but I can sort of tell it. I was a young girl in Italy and my sisters were older than me, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful now, but they were very beautiful. And you know, American girls in Italy, that's kind of tricky thing because we're just different. And they were walking down the Villette where my mother's town, and there were these two young boys, and they were not being very nice, and they threw ice cream on my sister, on one of my sister, and pulled my sister's hair. But which, okay, stupid, but that was so wrong of them to do. But then they didn't even run, they just laughed. And somehow that just made me really I felt so violated. And I also felt like that they didn't even run because they didn't think I would do anything or nobody was going to do anything. And they were wrong about that. Let me just say, they were wrong about that. I took a long time to find them, but I, you know, definitely settled the score. And I was probably only 11 years old or something, maybe younger than that. I was definitely not a woman yet. And I took care of it because I was like, you can't do that and get away with it. And so that, I think, is a good thing about me, that I'm fair. And yeah, I don't know, it's such a good thing after all. Okay, we're gonna wrap that one up. But that's my least favorite thing about myself, is that I'm super critical of myself, which I'm really working on. I've been doing a lot of work on that because I just, you know, I think we all have this voice in our heads that are telling us things, and it's not really our voice that we're hearing. It's like other people's voices, our mom, our dad, something a stupid teacher said. You know, children are we're just very impressionable, and one little moment can change, you know, the trajectory of your life. And so, you know, I think that that's not something I'm really happy with. And so I'm trying to change that. So that's kind of deep. Kind of deep. Do I like the video? I don't know who said that. If you're talking about the video that was made for me that we posted, I actually posted it. I thought it was so beautiful. It had a Brazilian song and some pictures of me that somebody made for me, and IG pulled it because I think it was a song that belonged to somebody. If that's the video you're talking about, thank you so much. I've saved it for myself and for my family. It's very beautiful, and thank you so much. And then Natalie from Brazil translated the lyrics for me, which made me cry. So thank you both so much for doing that. Yes, I loved it very much. You guys were coming up on the hour. I love you too, Sophia Rose. What about your ability to do interpretive dance? Oh, okay. I think do you guys know that I'm a dancer in the art of dance? I think that's Laura V. Bruno. Is that who that is? You guys, I'll have to, maybe the next time, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a dancer in the art of dance. And I've been working on a dance combination. And maybe if enough people want to see it, I'll set up the camera next time. Maybe on the stage at the Canyon Club, I'll do my dance and I'll show you my combination. And maybe I'll even take feedback because I've been working on it for a long time. And well, thank you, Laura, Laura and for Scotty. I'm pretty sure that's who that was. So I will definitely do that if you want. I love you guys. I know I don't want to overstate it, but do you do jazz? Yeah, I'm a jazz dancer. I actually studied with Maurice and Gregory Hines in New York. Do you know who they are? The dancers. And I did, I learned jazz, and I did jazz for quite a few years. I'm a good dancer. Like if I could rewind my life, I would probably be a dancer. You know what I mean? I would probably have done that. I would have pushed myself in that direction more for sure. I mean, I still dance and I do splits and I ride a unicycle and I do gymnastics and stuff like that. Um, but anyway, have you ever used your own embarrassing? Oh, can't see it. Just left. My heart is so full. Aw. Thank you. Lotta Paria Laspi. All right. Jack Ilare. Jack, how do you say your name? I feel like it's Ilaire, but I'm Italian, so I have to say Ilare. I have to make everything sound like it's an Italian meal. You did jazz too, Sophia Rose? Awesome. All right, you guys, I'll take one more really good question. Somebody, Carol Seppiano asked me this from the UK. Do you think you can be in love with someone you've never met? I had to think about that one. Do you know somebody who's in love with me? It just depends. Like, I don't know how you can be in love with somebody you've never met, but I think about it. I think we all kind of feel like there's that person out there that we feel that love for. So I guess if you've never met that person, but you feel that love, that's what a twin flame is. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but I've heard about that, where people have this like soul that you connect with, but they're not incarnate, or they could be incarnate, and you feel this connection with them. That's where my mind went when you said that. But I mean, I think that there's a lot of degrees of love. So I think you can, if you're talking about like meeting somebody on the internet and falling in love with them, I guess so. I mean, it's love for whatever that is in that love, you know, but I think love always goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And in order for it to do that, I would think you would have to, you know, be in the same room together and share your energy that way, and, you know, other things. Okay. All right. I'm going to wrap this up. I love you guys. Where is your family from in Italy? Well, I love you too, Autumn. Thank you so much. My family is from, my mother and father are both from the region of Puglia, the province of Puglia. My father is from Grumo, Apula, which is a small town. And my mother is from what they call a cittadina, which is a big town. It's a little city, a big town. And it's called Altamura, and it's just an amazing town, both of them. And so my father was an American who rode his bike. He was visiting his family, and he rode his bike to my mother's town, and then he saw my mother. And my mother was quite beautiful. She still is. And he saw her, and as the story goes, they arranged. They were never really alone together, I think, for just a short few minutes. And my mother left her 10 brothers and sisters and went to a foreign country and married my father. They married in Italy, and then she left, which is a very bold and courageous thing to do. I'm really glad she did. Not that I don't love Italy, but I'm really happy to have grown up in Brooklyn and, you know, grew up on the Brooklyn streets and grew up from an old world Italian family, but in a very progressive city like New York. It kind of gave me an interesting juxtaposition, and I'm happy about that. Anyway, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, thank you so much to all of you. Like what I was saying to Gus is true. I feel like when I go out in public now, and like everybody's wearing masks and stuff, it's challenging for me to navigate because I work so much from my heart. So truly being in quarantine and having this connection with you all and all the beautiful messages we send each other has really made me feel full and made me feel connected. And I appreciate it. And I love you all. I know that sounds kind of trite because I don't really know you, but I feel the love is what I want to say. And thank you for tuning in on this sort of intimate episode. Next week, we will be at the Canyon Club again. I will announce our amazing guest, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Thank you all.